It's haram to buy this products. Israel killing Muslim children with your money. Hey, everybody, I'm Steve Green with Bill Whittle and Scott Ott. This is Right Angle, brought to you by the members of BillWhittle.com. And gentlemen, this is from a pamphlet called Boycott Zionist Israel that just blew up on Monday all over my Twitter feed. It's where I learned that if you spend only £1 a year, Israel make $2 billion a year from Muslim population, which is just incredible. I mean, all the racists will tell you that Jews are great with money, but how you get £1 to turn into £2 billion, pulling it out of the Muslim population, is incredible. But this list included all the products that if you want to fight Zionism, that you have to boycott. And I'm going to share this with you, so just bear with me. This list, by the way, is does not list quite all the products that you're supposed to boycott. So we've got Adidas, Amica, Airbnb, Ariel, Aquafina, Axe, Banana Republic, Barclays Bank, Baskin-Robbins, Betty Crocker, Boss, Booking.com, Bottle Caps, Bobby Brown, Braun, Burger King, Butterfinger, Capital One, Calvin Klein, Chanel, Cheetos, Clinique, Costco, Costa Coffee, Colgate, Coffee Mate, Coke, Converse, Dell, Dermalogica, Diesel, Disney, Domino's, Dog Chow, Dove, Doritos, Dole, D&G, DKY, and Dr. Pepper, Dr. Jart, Dryers, Estee Lauder, Evian, Fanta, FedEx, Fruit by the Foot, Friskies, Gatorade, Gap, Gerber, Giorgio Armani, Glam Glow, Gobstopper, Goobers, Gillette, Givenchy, Gucci, Haagen-Dazs, Head & Shoulders, Hot Pockets, Huggies, HSBC Bank, Intel, J.Crew, JCPenney, Johnson & Johnson, KFC, Kiehl's, Kit Kat, Kinder, Kleenex, Kodak, Kraft, Kylie Cosmetic, Lay's, Laffy Taffy, Lancome, Lacoste, Lego, Levi's, Lipton, Lloyds Bank, L'Oreal, Louis Vuitton, MAC Cosmetics, Maybelline, Marlboro, Marks & Spencer, McDonald's, Microsoft, Minute Maid, Motorola, Mountain Dew, Nature Valley, Nescafe, Nestle, Anything, Nerds, Nokia, Nike, Nivea, Nutella, Oral-B, Paula's Choice, Pantene, Papa John's, Pellegrino, Pepsi, Perrier, Pizza Hut, Puma, Purina, Anything, Pringles, Reebok, River Island, Rolo, Roll-Up, Sabra, Skims, Smarties, Smartwater, Sprite, Starbucks, Sweetheart, Sunkist, Subway, Taco Bell, Tang, Tesco, The Body Shop, The Ordinary, T-Max, Tom Ford Products, Too Faced, Tommy Hilfiger, Timberland, Tide, Tropicana, Turtles, Chocolate, Twix, UPS, Vaseline, Victoria's Secret, Walmart, Wix.com, YoPlay, and Zara.
I just realized, man, I just took $28 trillion out of the Muslim population. I feel terrible.
They encourage you to go to this website. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head.
Oh, please, let's promote that website as much as possible.
It's all of those words.com. And you got to get spelling exactly right.
If you go to this website, it's thewitness.news. It's a UK-based Palestinian group. Each of these products, if you click on their individual pages, it contains a warning like this. Don't buy Hyundai cars or machinery. Don't sell Hyundai cars or machinery. Don't work for Hyundai. And you can't do that because Hyundai apparently makes wrecking equipment like bulldozers that Israel has used to construct things they shouldn't construct and to tear down things they shouldn't tear down. Scott, that list is rather inclusive, isn't it?
Yes, and I'll tell you right up front, I draw the line at nerds. I am not giving up my nerds.
There's a lot of candy on that list.
You'd have them when you can pry them from my cold, dead hands.
That's right. You know, I guess the idea here from the geniuses who drafted this list is that they did a study of human nature and decided that people like being told by strangers what to do. They especially like being told to stop doing something they've previously enjoyed doing. And people respond really well to that when you tell them that they can't have something that they really have paid for in the past and have enjoyed in the past. If you listen to the news, you get a completely different impression of what's going on with this whole war than you do if you actually were there or if you knew what was going on there. Every day, like I can't tell you how many headlines I've seen day after day. It says something happened and this increases pressure on Israel to stop the bombing. Like no matter what happens, it increases pressure on Israel. And I'm like, where does pressure come from? Is this atmospheric pressure? What kind of pressure are you talking about? Well, it's the pressure that you're generating in the news media when you do these stories that say pressure is increasing upon Israel. And so it's the same sort of nonsense that you're going to go through and boycott 200 products or, not work at those companies. Yeah, that's right. I have a strong feeling about this. I'm walking off my, $70,000 a year auto assembly job now because I think that's going to change policy in some other country. It's really sad. And I think what it really does is, first of all, it's misleading. Secondly, the sources of this kind of activity are just basically Hamas cheerleaders. And so you've got, which includes many in the media, sadly, you've got these people who have an agenda that they're trying to advance, and then the media puts it out as if it were like a real news story. Now, we are constrained to discuss these things in order to warn people away from them. But every time we talk about something like this, I'm like, suck the oxygen out of this thing and let it turn blue and die. Like, I don't even want to, I didn't want to say the name of their website because this is helping them. But the good thing is that no, right-thinking American who's watching our show would ever consider
Bill,
doing
this is a real kicker, I think, to this story. This is the buried lead. If you go to the bottom of the pamphlet, it says to visit the website to find a list of alternative products, and you got to kind of dig around. But I clicked on a lot of these companies, a lot of these products, and almost all of them had this to say: no alternatives researched yet. Help us out. No alternatives, huh? You're
wow.
I don't understand.
So when they, if it said an ice cream brand and it said you click on alternatives, and then the website would tell you that there are no alternatives to that ice cream brand because
so it's no sense buying Kia then because they don't make bulldozers.
If you're looking for substitute products, you're not going to find them in the places that are actually friendly to groups like Hamas.
Yeah. Is that a halal bulldozer?
Speaking of the bulldozer, it's an interesting, actually, this little kind of rational part of my mind went to work there. And when you mentioned don't buy Hyundai because they make bulldozers, it made me think, really, first thing I thought was, how many bulldozers does Hyundai make in a year? And of that number, how many are employed by Israel to bulldoze Palestinian settlements?
All of them.
Assuming you buy their argument. Yeah, exactly right. The answer is all of them. Yes, exactly right. All of them. What is it? 3 out of whatever they make? In any event, the real horror of the October sneak attack was for Israelis to realize how vulnerable they are and how porous their society is and vulnerable to attack. And what it's done for Americans is show us just how deep this rot has gotten into American society, that people can actually protest this stuff in public and not go and hide their heads in shame for the rest of their lives. Whatever your opinion on this conflict prior to this is, this is the most horrific atrocity, large-scale atrocity that I'm aware of since World War II. Not just to the Jews. I'm just well, at the very least, it's the largest atrocity committed against a Western nation that I can think of. Well, 9/11, I guess, would come into that category, but it's up there.
This is their 9/11 proportionally.
Yes, and not only that, though, is that the provocativeness of this attack, this business of babies in ovens and decapitating people, the ferocity of the cruelty of this early October attack is ratcheted up as high as it can get. There's never been a clearer example to me of savagery that's being displayed for savagery's sake than what Hamas did to Israel on that day. And this idea that, it's just a more or less an equal thing. The progressives can't understand causality. They don't understand that if you shoot somebody, then you go to jail. They say, well, how come the guy's in jail? Because he shot somebody. We didn't just pick a guy off the street at random and decide to put him in prison because we're horrible people. That's what they tend to think. This response on the part of Israel is a response not just to the number of people killed, but to the manner in which they were killed, to the It is a response to the gauntlet that was thrown down by Hamas in terms of making this as painful as possible, given the resources that they had, making this as painful and brutal as possible. And they're getting this back. And I have no sympathy for them. I'm sorry. I understand innocent people are dying, and I have sympathy for innocent people. But when you put people into the mode of existential conflict, we didn't bomb Tokyo Bay, you know? That's not what it started in 1941. And so everything that followed after that was based on the decision of the Imperial Japanese militaristic government to launch a sneak attack on American assets in Pearl Harbor. Everything that happened in the Pacific after that, including all of the civilians who were killed in the firebombing attacks and so on, all of it was predicated on the decision that government made, fully aware. They were wrong about what they thought was going to happen, but they were fully aware of what they were doing. The same thing with Hamas. And the fact that people can defend Hamas this close to the event is an indication of just how corrupted our media is and how fundamentally infected large percentage of people who call themselves American citizens are. You could even be in a position where you have nothing but hatred and contempt for Israel and everything it stands for. But that's not the same thing as celebrating Hamas and protesting in favor of Hamas. That's just something where you can just say, okay, I'm not a fan of Israel, but who can defend this action? It's indefensible. And so I'm actually glad, Steve. Every time one of these things comes out, I'm glad. My topic this week is similar to yours. Because as Scott said, it does make you wonder who's the PR person for this. And I'm guessing whoever it is, he's got red skin and long black horns and cloven hooves, and is enjoying the whole show.
Steve, can I add something bastards. Here? I was watching a report about how Israel is pursuing this Hamas military leader. I think he's kind of I don't know his name, but he's the guy who's kind of in charge of this whole operation. And in recent days, as we record this, they're going into their 5th day of having a pause in the fighting so that they can exchange prisoners. And it's a 3-for-1 exchange. Hostages coming back to Israel, 1 hostage, 3 prisoners leaving Israel, going back to Gaza. And so it's, this 3-for-1 exchange, which is, of course, unbalanced. Well, the story that I read about this guy, the Hamas military leader, mentioned in passing that he happened to be one of the 1,000 prisoners that Israel released years ago in exchange for, I believe his name was Gilad Shalit. It was a single IDF soldier that they traded 1,000 Palestinian prisoners for, and that guy paid back his freedom from Israel by turning around and leading a group to attack Israel. And for anybody to make this moral equivalency argument to say, oh, it's the same thing. I mean, Israel traded 1,000 prisoners to get 1 Israeli back.
Regular soldier.
Yes,
yeah.
And then one of those 1,000 turned around and led this attack on this butchery on Israel.
Close here. I think Scott hit on the importance, or maybe the lack of importance, of a story like this one. When I say this boycott pamphlet exploded over my Twitter feed, it really did. I couldn't avoid the dang thing, so I wrote about it for PJ Media this morning. I'm hosting this segment today. But I found it from the source. The closest thing to a source I could find was a pro-Palestinian account using the name of Naila Ayad, with the Palestinian flag emoji next to her name there. But her Avi is a photo of a headshot. You can actually see the frame, the white frame of the photo print on each side of the smiling face. And the content is nothing but data mining clickbait. Click follow if you like this. And almost all the photos are very attractive looking, presumably Palestinian or Arab women. So this is a bot running a scam. And this kind of thing starts generating clicks. And I wonder, just how does an account like this generate 40,000 followers when it's so obviously fake? And one of my readers at Vodka Pundit did a little deeper digging than I did this morning. And it turns out most of those followers also appear to be bots. So when you hear that something is trending on Twitter, or X, as Scott likes to call it now for whatever reason, when you hear that something is trending on Twitter, understand that so much of what's trending is bots amplifying content produced by bots for bots to amplify. It's so fake. Don't worry about it. Don't get in the dander about it. Do what I did. Try to have a little fun with it and then forget about it. And that's your right angle on that, brought to you by the members of, BillWhittle.com. Thanks so much. Oh, by the way, BillWhittle.com has a brand new website. It looks great. It's snappy. It's fun. So if you're watching this on YouTube or Rumble, go to BillWhittle.com and check it out. You're going to love it. All right. That said, I'm Steve Green. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.